you guys could have your attention, please. Just going to take a few minutes here. This is the last week of classes of the 40th year in Christendom history. As far as I know, I may be wrong on this, but as far as I know, there's only one person in this room who has been here for all 40 years. Am I correct about that? Mr. Ray O'Hearn, have you been here for 40 years?
41, Mike.
41 years. Ray O'Hearn was here 1 year before the college was founded. He helped to get the college founded. And there's no question that he has helped to make the institution what it is today. I was trying to think of an analogy. I was trying to think if I owned a couch for 40 years, I probably would like to get rid of that couch after 40 years. Mr. Ray O'Hearn has been here 40 years, but he is not an old couch. It is with tremendous sadness that this good man over here to my right is going to be moving on. He is retiring after this year, and so I wanted to take a minute with some of my colleagues to honor him and to recognize him. How do you repay a debt like this? I don't know, other than just to express our gratitude, just how tremendously indebted we are to you. I'm going to go ahead and just say personally, I might be more indebted to Ray O'Hearn than anyone else here because I was a student of Ray back in 1983 to 87. Unquestionably, one of the few men in my life who has had the kind of impact that has helped form me into the person that I am. A great teacher. Also, the mission program would not be what it is without Ray O'Hearn. For 11 consecutive years, he took students after student after students down to the DR. He was the force behind that. I hardly lifted a finger. Okay, and then also just as a colleague and a friend, a tremendous colleague. So Ray O'Hearn, I want to say thank you from me, and I think I do represent every student you've ever had, every colleague you've ever had. We owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude. I calculated you probably have had over 5,000 students. Does that seem about right? Probably about 5,000. I did the average. I did 60 students per semester, times 2, times 40, and that got us up to 4,800 students. So I think you've had probably over 4,800 students. But I've also invited John Cutterback and Sharon Hickson to get up and say something. John?
Well, word to the students, you too someday might be in a position where it is, you have to say something where it is very, very difficult to know how to say what you want to say. We owe a debt of gratitude that's very, very difficult to put into words. I would just recall, like Professor Brown, I'm in a unique and blessed position to have had Professor O'Hearn as a professor, as well as a colleague for many, many years. How to try to tell you what Professor O'Hearn's influence was in the early years of the college, I'll keep it very brief. To try to say more would start to try to do as though I were trying to do justice to it, which I cannot do. Especially at the founding in those first several years. Not to say not also in every single year since then. Professor O'Hearn has been at the heart of Christendom College. How would I tell you what it was like to be a student and to have this man as your philosophy professor, as your theology professor, as your dean? And to know that he always had your back, that he always was looking out for your good, and he would always do whatever he could for you. For many of us, and perhaps it was to an extreme, we have that sense of what Mr. O'Hearn says, you know that it's so, because he spoke from the heart and he spoke from conviction. I have 3 words for you: humility, love, and devotion. Anyone who's ever spent any time around Professor O'Hearn knows that he is not a man of pretension. He is not concerned how he appears. He is concerned with realities. He is concerned with the truth. He was always happy to be called Mr. O'Hearn. The moment you graduate from Christendom College, he would look you in your eye and he'd say, "I'm Ray." That was a very big step, but he made it very easy. And we learned to call him Ray, that man who had been so much more than Ray. Humility. Love. The man is in love. He's in love with truth. If you can't see that, you don't have eyes to see. And he's in love with his students. And that makes an incredibly powerful combination. He loves the truth, and because he loves us and he loves you, he teaches the way that he teaches. Which brings us to devotion, especially devotion to his students. He is acting out of love, and he's acting out of conviction. What more can you say about a professor? So in bringing it to conclusion, I just want to say, I cannot imagine what's in his heart and his mind right now. After all of these years, I can imagine the mixture of emotions that I would have if I were in that situation. It's not ours to try to enter into that. From the outside, standing from where I stand, I simply see an incredible debt of gratitude that we are happy to pay. And to a man who has loved so much, I am glad and confident in Scripture that to him who has loved so much, there will be a reward that is more than condign. And that we all wish to you, Professor Ray O'Haron.
Well, there's not much I can add to that. What I would say is I've known Ray not as a student, but as a friend. He and his beautiful wife Sheila brought me and my family to Christendom many years ago and showed us just amazing friendship. I just wanted to say, as a man, he is coming up on his 50th anniversary, which I think is amazing. He has 9 children, 57 grandchildren, and as Mike said, probably about 4,000 other children to whom he's been a father for all these years. So with that, I'd like to say 2 things. What are the things we'll never forget about Ray? Many things we'll never forget, but one of them would be always, sometimes, never. And one thing I will never ever forget is the most beautiful rendition of Four Green Fields that you will ever hear anywhere. And then the last thing I'd like to say is, Ray, I think all these years you've still been wondering who put the chickens in your office. And I think the statute of limitations has expired, so I will now reveal to you. It was Paul McCleary, Bob Nortz, and Tom Summers.
And of course, money cannot properly express the gratitude, but nevertheless, we spent some money on you, Ray. So we got to do this for you. First of all, we a beautiful card right here. Now, it is my fault. There probably should be 10,000 signatures on here. We got this done late in the game. Emily Guzza, by the way, did this. A really lovely card for you, signed by us. A gift that I did not wrap. All right, this is Mary Schneider's work. So this is a gift, and Ray, we hope you'll open it, because you might be able to use it before you have to leave today, okay? And then finally, we do actually have a gift certificate for you. It's we're offering you, myself, to cater for your family, a retirement dinner, a retirement event, if you choose to do so. Anyway, guys, let's give Ray O'Haron.
to tear such a thing.
This is a very nice backhanded set.
A box of Brussels sprouts. I want to thank Mike and John and Sharon very much for your more than generous remarks. And it's a difficult team to leave, but I still have a week and a half. But it's been a great grace for me to have been here from the beginning and up to the present day. You can't imagine the gift that God has given to me in allowing me to do this work. So I thank him, and I thank all of you for your generous response. God bless you all.